The whispers in the Paro bells, the Paro Valley in Bhutan, in the year 1899 was a kingdom of silence. High above the terraced rice fields stood the monastery, a fortress of white stone and dark wood clinging to the mountain face. Within its serene walls lived Tsering, a monk who had taken the strictest of vows, the vow of complete silence. For him, thoughts were thunder and words were storms. True peace lay only in the quiet observation of the world. His world was meticulously ordered, prayer, meditation, and the slow rhythmic sweep of the monastery courtyard. This order was breached only by the quiet arrival of Kazang, the village healer. Kazang was a practical woman who knew the secrets of roots and teas. Every morning, without fail, she would climb the worn path to the monastery gate. She never spoke to Tsering, knowing his vow, but she left her offerings with a knowing tenderness. A small bundle of steaming suja, butter tea to warm his hands during the morning, meditation, a fresh coil of juniper incense. Their courtship was a study in nonverbal devotion. Tsering would watch her approach and leave from the high monastery windows. He could communicate only through his eyes, which held the immense unsaid weight of his affection. Kazang, in turn, would glance up before she descended, offering a smile that was its own full language, a quiet promise of return. Their love was sustained by this beautiful routine, the scent of her herbs, the warmth of the tea, and the certainty of her face against the brilliant backdrop of the valley. It was a love that existed not in speech but in presence. The great deafening silence arrived on a cold autumn day. Tsering watched the path until noon, then until dusk. The next day, the morning light revealed only the empty stone steps. The day after that, the tea remained unbrewed, the gate untouched. Kazang had stopped coming. The reason was never known to him: a sudden fever, a journey to a far-off village, or perhaps a new life that had finally eclipsed her solitary visits. For Tsering, it was as if the valley itself had gone quiet. The prayer flags fluttered soundlessly, the river seemed to hush its roar, and the profound, peaceful silence he had always embraced became a crushing weight of emptiness. The monastery tried to carry on, but Tsering was adrift. His prayers felt thin and meaningless without the anchor of Kazang's quiet devotion. He spent his days in the main chapel, meditating before the great gilded statue, seeking the inner peace his vow demanded, but his heart refused to grant. It was during one such lonely meditation that the miracle of their love asserted itself. The fierce Paro wind, which typically screamed through the high peaks, softened as it reached the monastery. It didn't rage against the walls. Instead, it entered the chapel and gently passed through the long row of brass temple bells hanging in the rafters. The air current was just strong enough to cause a tiny, resonant vibration in the metal, a faint metallic whisper that no ordinary sound could produce. The older monks, who had known of the silent devotion between the two, noticed it first. Whenever Tsering would kneel and begin his deep, breathless prayers, the wind would pick up, and the temple bells would begin to chime, not with a clang, but with a sound soft as falling snow. They said they heard a sound carried on that ethereal current, a sound that only Tsering could truly decipher, a whisper as soft as her name, Kazang, Kazang. Tsering never broke his vow of silence, but he never needed to. Kazang's presence had simply changed form. His solitary prayers were no longer solitary. They were conversations carried on the wind, a gentle, eternal reply echoing in the metal voices of the temple bells. To this day, the locals of the Paro Valley say if you listen closely when the air is still, you can hear the faint, loving whisper of the wind, a reminder that the strongest connections are often the ones made without a single word.